counting. We're not counting gang violence. Great.
Oh my God.
Wait, Cody, go, run. Whoa. Hey, stop. Okay. Stop, folks. Stop. Easy. Amy, go.
And I would just think back to last summer in Butler, Pennsylvania, when then candidate Trump was shot and almost killed by a would-be assassin. But it's just a tough thing to do, and people really have to evaluate what type of risk they want to expose themselves to these days.
An FBI insider has finally broken his silence, and what he revealed about Charlie Kirk's death is darker than anyone imagined. For days, the nation believed the story was simple. A lone gunman, one shot, a tragic ending. But according to a veteran federal agent with direct knowledge of the case, there is far more to the story. Hidden warnings, ignored threats, and a security breakdown that may have sealed Kirk's fate before the first bullet was even fired. This revelation doesn't just deepen the mystery. It raises chilling questions about whether Charlie Kirk's death could have been prevented, and who might not want the public to know the full truth. The final morning. It began like any other day of the tour. On September 10th, 2025, Charlie Kirk woke up in his hotel room in Provo, Utah. Staffers say he seemed tired, slower than usual, almost dazed. He drank coffee, skipped breakfast, and told his aides, "Big day today. Let's make it count." But according to this FBI agent, behind the scenes there was already tension. The Bureau had intercepted chatter online days earlier, suggesting that Kirk's Utah event might be targeted. The agent claims that a memo had been sent to local law enforcement, warning of possible threats. Yet for reasons still unclear, the warning never translated into stronger security on the ground. The event. By noon, hundreds of students gathered in the courtyard of Utah Valley University. Kirk, under a white tent, leaned forward as he engaged challengers with his signature, "Prove Me Wrong" debate style. Videos show him animated, sharp, but also fatigued, pausing longer between answers, sipping more water than usual, and then, at 12:14 p.m., it happened. The sharp crack of a rifle echoed across campus. Charlie's body jerked, his hand flew to his neck, and he collapsed. Panic ripped through the crowd. Students screamed. Security scrambled. The event dissolved into chaos. The FBI's hidden files, a calculated hit, relaxed. The ballistic report adds weight to his claims. The shot came from nearly 200 yards away, an expert-level distance. Investigators believe the shooter had studied Kirk's routine, chosen a perfect vantage point, and struck at the exact moment his guard was down. The FBI insider says this wasn't random. This was a professional hit. The shooter knew the layout, the timing, and Kirk's movements.
People running, and I'm like, it's not safe to run, it's not safe to get up, it's not. And all I'm saying is, please God, please God, please God, because I don't want to die, I don't want anybody else to die, and I think I just saw a guy die, you know? Pretty close, me and about 12 other people, and we sat there for about an hour, and we're all just crying and seeing people posting the videos on social media. It was horrifying. It was horrible.
This wasn't some unstable loner. It was planned. If true, that suggests Charlie Kirk was the victim of a targeted assassination, not a spontaneous act of violence. The cover-up question, relaxed. Why then has the public been told so little? The FBI agent suggests that higher-ups may be deliberately keeping the case vague to avoid panic. If the public knew how many warnings were ignored, the outrage would be massive. It's easier to push the lone gunman narrative than admit a systematic failure, he said. This revelation leaves more questions than answers. Who organized the hit? Was it politically motivated? And why did security forces allow so many red flags to slip through the cracks? The family's nightmare, relaxed. For Charlie's wife, Erica, None of these questions changed the reality. She lost her husband, and their 2 children lost their father. Sources say she is demanding answers privately, pressing officials for transparency. If they knew he was in danger, why didn't they protect him? She reportedly asked through tears.
Charlie was taken right away, and we were just still on the ground freaking out, not knowing what to do.
The haunting part is that she may never get a clear answer. Trump's shock. Donald Trump, one of Kirk's closest allies, was the first to break the news publicly. On Truth Social, he wrote, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is gone."
Vaughn, let me interrupt you, Vaughn, but please stay on the line. Donald Trump has just posted on his social media platform, Truth Social, the following, quote, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family."
But behind the scenes, aides say Trump was furious. He allegedly called top officials demanding to know why security wasn't tighter. "This should never have happened. They let him down," he reportedly said. So what is that truth? That Charlie Kirk may have been targeted not only by a shooter, but also by a chain of negligence, ignored warnings, and systemic failures. That the very institutions designed to protect public figures either underestimated the threat or chose to look the other way.
Cody, go, run, run!
We're going to be here for a couple hours. Get comfortable.
And that means the tragedy of Charlie Kirk's last 24 hours isn't just about one man's fall. It's about what happens when warnings are silenced, when systems crack, and when truth is buried under official statements. For his family, the loss is personal and permanent. For his supporters, it's a call for justice. And for America, it's a haunting reminder. Sometimes the darkest truths are the ones we're not meant to hear. But the FBI insider didn't stop there. In fact, what he revealed next is what has truly disturbed investigators, and what could change how America remembers this tragedy forever. According to this veteran agent, internal communications show that Kirk had been on a watch list for months, not because he was dangerous, but because credible threats against him were piling up at an alarming rate. Emails between field offices reportedly outlined repeated warnings, mentions of his name in extremist chat rooms, surveillance of suspicious figures tailing his tour stops, even an alleged sighting of a man carrying what appeared to be a scoped rifle near a previous event. And yet, no heightened protection was ever granted. Kirk continued to travel with minimal security, relying on local campus police and a few private guards. The agent claims this wasn't a mistake. It was a conscious decision. He was flagged as controversial, politically sensitive, the agent says. There was hesitation to dedicate federal resources, even though the threats were clear. That hesitation may have cost Kirk his life. Meanwhile, for his family, every new revelation is a fresh wound. His wife Erica has reportedly demanded access to the FBI's files, desperate to know if her husband's assassination could have been prevented. Insiders close to the family say she is tormented by the thought that officials saw this coming and did nothing. One associate recalls Erica whispering late at night, "He wasn't just a headline. He was my children's father. How could they let this happen?" The image of his 2 young children, too small to understand what has happened, hangs over this story like a shadow. One day, they will learn the truth, that their father wasn't just taken by a gunman, but possibly by a web of negligence, ignored warnings, and a system that failed him. And then there is Donald Trump. The former president was the first to break the news publicly. But behind the scenes, sources say he was livid. Trump reportedly called senior officials within hours, demanding to know why his ally was left vulnerable. because the agent suggests that what happened to Charlie Kirk may not have been the work of a lone actor at all. He hints at the possibility of coordination, multiple individuals watching Kirk's movements, planning routes, and choosing the exact moment to strike. Ballistic analysis supports this theory. The precision of the shot, the distance, the vantage point. It all suggests a professional operation. Yet, publicly, officials continue to push the lone gunman narrative. Why? The agent offers a chilling explanation. If the public knew the full scope, panic would spread. People would question whether anyone in this country is truly safe, so we are left with questions. Who really killed Charlie Kirk? Why were so many warnings ignored? And most haunting of all, was this tragedy preventable from the start? The answers may never come, at least not officially. But thanks to this FBI insider, the world has glimpsed the dark truth. That Charlie Kirk's fall was not just the result of a single gunman's bullet, but the product of a system that either couldn't or wouldn't protect him.